Hey, this is Snowblitz.
Syx String.
Starlight Ironhoof.
Forest Rain.
And Zeta Prime.
And this is Elements of Harmony. Tonight on the show, we talk to Turquoise Splash, a notable acoustic musician within the fandom who has performed both on stage at conventions and spontaneously outside conventions. With a penchant for amazing acoustic guitar work and sweet vocals, Turquoise Splash has done a lot of covers, original works, and collaborations with many notable musicians within the fandom. And he joins us here tonight. Turquoise Splash.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Well, you two are familiar.
So, Turquoise is actually a friend of mine, so we're already kind of familiar.
Yeah, the rest of us don't know him.
Yeah.
Hi, strangers.
So wait, quick question then. How did you two meet?
Hamish Derpy, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to tell the story since you're a guest?
I made a cover of one of my favorite songs in the fandom by Forrest, with a song called Hamish Derpy. And Forrest, I think he just, messaged me on YouTube. He's like, yo, this is really cool. You want to make an actual, official acoustic version? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I sent him stems, and we worked on it together, and we released the acoustic version a couple months later.
That's exactly how it was worded, too. Yo, this is really cool. Let's make a real version, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's exactly how it went down, word for word.
Yeah, so basically, Turk did a cover of my song, and it was really good, and it impressed me, and I liked it, and then I decided that, we needed to up the production value on it slightly.
Maybe fix the guitar tones?
No. Screw you, Tim.
It was crap. It was bad.
I'm gonna seriously kill Tim someday.
I know.
So we're gonna launch back into the interview. Turquoise, just real quick, tell us the kinds of things you do in the fandom. What kind of music do you make, and what kind of cons have you gone to, that kind of thing?
Well, I mainly just do acoustic stuff. Mostly covers, some ponies, some not. Usually pop-punk bands that I really like, and I also make pop-punk music. And some of the cons I've gone to, I went to BronyCon last year, which was amazing. And I performed at 21 Kenobi set in Canterlot Gardens the year before that, and that was pretty fun.
And as was noted in the intro, you also performed outside of Canterlot Gardens.
Did I?
Yes. So one of the memories that I had at Canterlot was I walked outside at one point, and you were sitting out there with Blue Nose Reindeer and somebody I don't remember the name of.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I don't know if you remember who it was. It was the guy playing that crazy square drum thing that he sat on.
Oh, yeah, a cajon?
Sure. I have no idea what it's called, but yeah, tell us about that.
We were just bored, and I was hanging with Blue, and we were just like, oh, let's just, play music, because it's kind of half the reason why I'm here anyways. And half the reason we did that was I kind of needed to practice for the set later that night. Mm-hmm. And so, we played Hamish Derpy and a bunch of other stuff. But it was mainly just for fun, because playing is fun.
Speaking of playing and fun, what's your favorite song to play live? In terms of fun?
I really liked playing The Party Hasn't Ended by 21 Kenobi.
Well, that's a good one.
Wow. It is a good song,
That's
yeah.
a good one, too.
So what led you to wanting to play acoustic guitar? Were you trying to impress a girl or something?
No, I just randomly started playing because back in high school for my dad, he was in a heavy metal rock band. And so I grew up and there was always instruments and guitars and drums all around me. And it didn't start until maybe middle school. And I was just like, oh, I'll just pick it up one day, just fiddle around. And I taught myself to play. And that's how it happened.
What was the first song that you learned how to play? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Smoke on the Water.
Ah, very interesting.
Any influence from School of Rock?
No, but I love that movie.
Ah, dang it.
Don't we all?
That's a great movie, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, also, wait, so you said your dad did have electrics. He was obviously in a heavy metal band, and everyone knows that acoustics don't belong in heavy metal. Am I right, Tim?
Acoustics do belong in heavy metal. What the hell are you talking about?
No, they don't.
I know, I'm being
conflict.
I'm being stereotypical and bigoted. But anyway, I'm assuming you have experience with electrics, so where did that preference come from?
I've always just kind of been a fan of acoustic music. Like when I'd be growing up listening to pop punk bands and stuff, whenever they'd make an acoustic version of some song or whatever, I just thought it was a lot more interesting that way. And I just think it's something, it's really nice to hear a stripped down version of a song you recognize.
So pop punk is something that has come up a couple times already tonight.
Oh yeah.
Could you just explain to our audience what exactly defines the pop punk genre?
You want me to define this? Okay.
Yes.
The 4 chords. The 1, 5, 6, 4.
And no more.
The 4 chords.
Key of C or E major is all you need.
1 5 6 4 6 4 1 5. There you go.
And there it is, folks.
That's how you do it.
We're gonna play some examples of that. Yep, we gotta.
I do.
Turk should have a guitar right there. Just play a 6 4 1 5 for us.
Out of tune, but yep. You want me to find one that's in tune?
Anybody that you've collabed with previously, have you found anybody that you've just really clicked off and both have been able to write some really good lyrics together?
Lyric-wise, no, but my good friend Pencil Eraser, who unironically does pop punk music, we've hit it off pretty well, and we've been doing music and like doing a bunch of ideas together.
One of the things that has come up in a couple interviews are these mysterious Skype chat rooms. So apparently the orchestral people all have their own Skype chat room, and I know for a fact that us alternative people have our own Skype chat room, and I know for a fact that you're in it. How has that impacted your songwriting or collaboration work with people?
The chat rooms? It's helped quite a bit. I have other chats too, and I'll always ask for advice, and because all my friends are nice like that. I'll post up little works in progress, and they'll tell me if it's good or bad, or like what melody line could be changed, or what lyrics could work better with what.
So it's kind of helped with your production side of things?
Yeah.
Now, with working on vocals, guitar, production over time, have you felt like you've developed?
Definitely. I wouldn't even dare to listen to some of the old stuff I recorded in the day. I feel like I've improved a lot over the past couple years.
Is there a song that you've had so far that you're just like, I think I'm doing pretty good now?
Or like one that you're most proud of?
Nothing I could think of.
Like a song that you would call like a milestone?
Probably Canterlot Nights.
Huh.
Yeah, I still haven't stopped listening to that.
I was really proud writing that one. And I was surprised myself how fast I wrote it too.
Nothing to do with Forrest.
No.
Nope.
No.
Who?
No, nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I would have thought that, I mean, you wrote the entire song, but you didn't produce the entire song, but you did write the entire song.
Yeah.
So it just strikes me as interesting that that's a milestone for you, considering it's a collaboration. Whereas for me, when I finally get to do something myself, I'm like, I have succeeded now! Like when I wrote Great to Be Different, I was like, I finally wrote a song. Good for me.
Thanks for having me on that, by the way.
Oh, yeah, no, and that's the thing, too. Like, you've done a lot of work sort of as a studio musician for people, too, including Great to Be Different, where you did all the guitar tracks for it. Was there anything else like that, where you've just kind of been brought in to do guitar work on stuff?
Yeah, Ponyone Kenobi, I do a lot of acoustic guitar work with him.
And, what kind of songs, or what kind of stuff have you worked on with?
Mostly Ponyone Kenobi, I've done with a lot of stuff. Mostly acoustic guitar, but I did help write lyrics to some of his songs. Gotta remember all of them. I've done a couple. I did guitar for a song called Weepy Cry of his.
Yes.
Yeah.
Weepy Cry was actually really good.
Yeah, I love that song. It's probably my favorite by him now. Can't think of any of the others. The Love Struck Derpy song, I did guitar and wrote some lyrics for that too. And his Raindrop song, I think I did lyrics for.
Now let me throw out something random. For just non-pony music, what's your favorite band in the non-pony universe?
Yellow Card.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, what song?
My favorite song by them?
Yeah.
Probably Awakening.
Alright, nice.
Yep.
I've got another random question. Minifridge or bassist?
Hey, dang it, you didn't even let me ask it.
It is Syx's question.
We're really going there, aren't we?
Basically, we've been asking people if they would rather have a bassist or a minifridge.
Minifridgically.
Oh my god.
Electronical.
So, Turquoise, would you rather have a bass player or a minifridge?
Honestly, I'd have to go with bass player.
Whoa.
Because I can't play bass. I don't even own one, so... Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Score one for the bassist.
The ratio changes.
He obviously doesn't have experience with a mini fridge.
We're gonna have to check our score after this episode and see where we're at.
Oh, well, you were talking about collabs a little bit, so is there anybody that you haven't had a chance to collab with that you want to in the future?
Yes. There's a bunch of people. I'm kind of open to collabing with almost anyone, just because I love working with people and writing new stuff. So I recently got in contact with a guy named Ken Applejack that is kind of like progressive heavy metal music, and I'm going to be trying to do lyrics and vocal work with him.
That would be really cool because he really needs more vocals on his songs.
So, one of the things I wanted to get on was you have done a lot of collaborations with people. We've touched on that, and we've touched on people that you want to collab with, but some of the people that you have collabed with, I'm kind of interested in how those collaborations actually went, because you've kind of collaborated with a very diverse group of people. You mentioned Pony One Kenobi already, but you've also collaborated with Matthew Moser,
Oh, yeah.
and Jof the Loaf, and S'mores. So, what was it like working with those people?
It was great. The S'mores collab went down was I met S'mores at Candlelight Gardens, but we met up again in BronyCon, and he wanted to see my guitar for a little bit, and he was just playing this little chord progression. He's like, "Oh, this is a song I wrote forever ago," and I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's awesome." And I'm like, I immediately learned his song and started playing it for him, and we talked through Skype about that, and he's like, "Oh, let's make the actual version. Could you play acoustic guitar for me for that?" And I did, and that's how that came to be.
What about Moser or Jof?
Well, me, Matt, and Jof are really, really good friends, and we have another chat group where a bunch of us are in. And we've always just kind of like, we're planning on doing stuff because we're like, oh, we're like 3 acoustic musicians. We should do some kind of collab song together. And Matthew Mosier, amazing as he is, just randomly one day just threw me and Jof in one chat. It's like, all right, we're doing it. And he's like, oh, here's a chord progression. Here's some lyrics. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds really good. And he's like, all right, BRB, I'm going to write some lyrics. And we're like, okay. And he comes back to us and he helped write the whole song later that day. And so we're like, oh god. Alright. Yeah, that's how that came to be.
So, quick question. Out of that group, do you have a secret favorite?
Who is best collab musician?
We're asking you to pick favorites.
I can't pick favorites, they're my friends.
And Matt is now deployed, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did that impact his music at all, or did he say anything about that, just out of curiosity?
No, he's still writing stuff, and we talked to him a bunch still, so he can't necessarily record anything when he's over there, but he uploaded a video of him playing live a while ago, and he talks to us about music and stuff.
What department did he deploy in?
I have no idea.
No, but a little more seriously, we were talking about collaborations earlier, and just recently a song came out with a collaboration with, what's his name? He, like, something to do with woods and precipitation, like Amazon downpour or something. That guy.
Yeah, I think he has some kind of ugly OC. It's kind of like green, barf green, maybe.
Oh my god.
Jungle Monsoon.
Jungle Monsoon.
Yeah, well, anyways, the song Care-a-Lot Nights, it's a very beautiful song. What kind of led you into writing that and contacting this Jungle Monsoon guy about it?
Well, I wrote it around the time when Forrest released Summer in the Stars, and I can't remember who brought it up to who, but we're like, oh, we should make another collab song original. And I'm like, oh, great idea, okay. And I wrote up this little chorus, and I sent it to him, and I wanted it to like be the same theme as Summer in the Stars was, so I tried to base it off of that.
Yeah, I think it was actually pretty much right after I released Summer in the Stars that I sent you a message, and I'm like, I need to do more stuff like this song. Can you write something for this?
And I'm like, okay, can do.
And then it was like a day or two later, you're like, oh, here's a whole song.
Oh yeah, I can kind of do that. I'm BRB writing a verse. I actually wrote the whole thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that's totally not me. It takes me forever to do lyrics, but it's cool that that comes so easily to you.
Yeah, songwriting has never been a problem for me. I usually find myself like writing choruses and like verses and stuff all the time, just in my spare time.
Has it always been that way, or like...
It hasn't been until like past 2 years, I'd say, is when I started finally like getting into songwriting. So I never really tried before then, so it's only really happened recently.
Along the lines of songwriting, do you have any prior writing experience like poetry or anything, or was it something that you just kind of found naturally?
It is just really naturally. I've always been kind of a good writer.
So going back to songwriting, what's your typical songwriting process? Like, do you come up with chords first, or lyrics first, or...
It depends. I've done it a couple ways. Sometimes it'll be simple as just I'll come up with one line, just one sentence, and I think it's really catchy or whatever, and I'll base the whole song off of just that. Other times I'll come up with a little chord progression, and other times I'll just put a chord progression and at the same time write a little melody, and then put words on top of it.
Since we were talking about Canterlot Nights, it was a collaboration between myself and Turquoise. Turquoise wrote the entire song and recorded it acoustically before I even started producing it. So really all I did was sing on the song and just kind of produce it my way. And Turk did a really good job at singing on this too. So without further ado, this is Canterlot Nights featuring myself and Turquoise Splash on Elements of Harmony on Everfree Network.
Across the darkest sky, as the snow falls and covers our homes in the night, the wind blows against the barren trees. A place so beautiful it can't be real, it seems, as winter sets in over time, the city comes alive. This is how we spend our candlelight nights. Lights illuminate the city streets, dreaming of tomorrow while we sleep. Fires burning brightly in the dark, as ponies sit around them, warming up our seeing through the night, eyes shining bright. See the stars dance across the sky. Bundled up tight, watch the hours tick by. This is how we spend our canterlot. See through the night, eyes shining bright. See the stars dance across the sky. Bundled up tight, watch the hours tick by. This is how we spend our canterlot nights. See through the night, eyes shining bright. See the stars dance across the sky. Bundled up tight, watch the hours tick by. This is how we spend our canterlot nights. See through the night, eyes shining bright. See the stars dance across the sky. Bundled up tight, watch the hours tick by. This is how we spend our canterlot nights.
So, Turquoise, in your many, many collaborations, have you ever ran into any problems with other people? Maybe, I guess, creative differences?
No, the only kind of problems I've ever run into has been time-wise and just projects taking forever. But that's just half the reason is me, so can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, projects tend to take time.
Speaking about projects, I was looking through your SoundCloud today. I noticed you put up a lot of WIPs on there, work in progresses. Is that part of your creative output, just putting songs up on your SoundCloud and getting input as you create, or?
Yeah, definitely. Half the reason I do that is just like to have people like my stuff. They are interested in what I'm working on. And the other half is for me. I'll wake up one day, or I'll just be walking around town or something, and I'll just think of some melody line or whatever. I'll get back home and I'll record it as fast as I can, just post it on SoundCloud, because you only see about half the things I actually post. A lot of it is private, because it's just me just lottie-dying some kind of melody or something.
And how often does other people's input from what you post up on your SoundCloud actually help you out in your overall projects?
Almost never. I don't think I have a big enough following to have people actually give valid input into anything.
Okay, I was just kind of curious because I haven't seen a lot of musicians do that, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's also just kind of fun to just write melodies and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like I shouldn't be allowed to know where these are because I'd just tell everybody to add more cowbell.
SoundCloud.com.
Yes! I'm gonna go do this right now.
Oh no, he found it.
More cowbell. Done.
Just out of curiosity, you mentioned melodies. When you're writing melodies, do you actually write the music part of the melodies first, or do you write them based off of lyrics, or is it dynamic?
Almost always is just melody first, and then I'll build lyrics on top of it. But sometimes lyrics come first, and then the melody will follow. I don't think I've ever done one where it's at the same time, where I'll be like, oh, this lyric is exactly what I want for this melody.
That's actually really interesting. I feel like lyrics would have to come first. I don't know. That's just me. My brain's weird.
Yeah, I write just instrumental stuff all the time, so lyrics are easy for me.
We kind of discussed this with Carbon Maestro, too, and he said that a lot of people write the harmonies, as he put it, first, as in, the chord progressions first, and then wrote melodies to them. Whereas I work entirely the other way. I start with lyrics, and then I write melodies to the lyrics, and then I write chord progressions around that.
Music is frustrating.
But there was also DB Pony where he did everything and then he wrote the lyrics for it as well, I think, right?
Well, he recorded vocals last, yeah, but still, same kind of idea.
Yeah, it's confusing for all of us.
I've always come through the school of thought that writing the lyrics first would be better because it kind of gives you theme and emotional impact for the music, but do you have any kinds of those themes or emotions that you want to portray that come out in the lyrics before you even get to the lyric point?
There's one song where that did happen. It's a song called Honestly, I did with Pony Kenobi a while ago. And the lyrics all came before I wrote any of the melody.
Is that the way that P1K worked, or is that...
That was just me. I wrote the whole chorus, and I think most of the verses by the time I even mentioned it to him, so...
More on that, when you're writing the music and then you write lyrics, do you just get a jingle in your head and you're like, I gotta make a song around this? Or do you get some kind of emotional feeling or theme, topical idea, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna write out this music, and it's gotta do these sorts of things to make some kind of lyric matching that theme work?
No, I'm a total emotionless bastard.
So in other words, short-term, emo.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought emo was emotional, not emotionless.
It's the same thing, though.
It's emotive.
Yeah.
It's emotive,
Same
not
thing.
emotional.
Close enough.
You're emotional.
It's the same thing.
You're the same thing.
Shut up, minifridge.
No, you.
No, people are allowed to have emotions. They're not allowed to express them.
I missed you.
Oh, God.
Speaking of emo, though, I have noticed that you have a penchant for emo bands from the early 2000s.
Yes.
I swear Blink-182 is not emo.
They're not emo. I don't even know why it's on there.
I don't know. Blink-182...
They're not.
Yeah. Forrest, that's 3 against 1.
Have you heard Adam's song?
It's emo!
Okay, no, Adam's song has a very sad backstory, but...
I don't know. I just love in Blink-182 with Simple Plan and, Mayday Parade or whatever. All those bands.
I can too, but they're not emo to me.
Me too.
Oh, shut up.
If you want to talk about emo bands, I can talk about emo bands, but We'll lose Tim, I think. But Turk, tell us about the emo bands you like.
I'm already gone. You're in too deep.
The emo bands I like.
And kind of how they've had an influence on you, I guess.
Early 90s, or the late 90s, I guess, is where kind of like the emo rock, alternative rock kind of pop punk genre kind of like exploded, where you had bands like Green Day had some emo stuff, and they had, and you had like My Chemical Romance and stuff, like early 2000s. Yeah.
Yes.
Super emo, yeah.
Helena.
Helena is like one of the most emo songs I ever know, yeah.
Oh, I fell in love with.
Oh god, that is such a beautiful. And the Ghost of You was another good one from My Chemical Romance.
Oh yeah, Ghost in You, but I fell in love with Gerard Way when I saw Helena.
Apparently he wrote that song for his grandmother.
Aw, that's sweet and strange.
Yeah. I don't know how that song has any correlation to his grandparents. Like, at all.
Then he went completely dark when they released the Black Parade album.
Yeah, where the whole album is based off of, the theme is just cancer and, like, death. So it's just like, it's about as emo as you can get.
Yeah, it's just so dark.
Yes. The first two songs of the album, like when he went into Dead, was just amazing.
Oh yeah, Death's a great song.
Yeah, do you guys, I never really realized this until now because I never really listened to the full album, but the intro beep noise to Dead is actually a flat line for a heart monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, never noticed that. I love that song though.
Really?
Wow. So Turk was talking about 90s bands that he liked and emo bands and that kind of thing. But I don't know, how much does that work into your music now? Like, do you think that that's a conscious influence?
Definitely. It's weird though because most of my stuff is usually like super poppy, like real happy, like catchy standard pop melody songs. I wish I could do stuff like that though. I keep trying to just write like some super depressed fest emo, like slash my wrists kind of song, but I don't know. We'll get there someday.
I don't want to be happy anymore. I want to be completely just emotionally distraught, cutting my wrists. I hope that I can end there someday.
I don't know, this was kind of an interesting thing, too. This is going to sound maybe kind of weird, but Turk, when it comes to depressing songs, do they make you happy?
Yes! Surprisingly. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make me happy, too, actually.
See? I'm not the only one that's not normal.
Yeah, it's weird.
No, that's a strange phenomenon.
It was just like, oh, lol, I'm not him. Yay.
Okay, no. So, when I was having my panic attacks and stuff like that, I listen to a lot of Seether right now, and one of their new songs is called Weak, but basically it's just all about just stop talking to me, I want to be alone. Like, I'm really pissed off right now. And that's exactly how I felt, and that's the only song I wanted to listen to. Because for some reason, I don't know, it kind of directs that emotion towards the song, so then you don't feel like that in life. It's weird.
And for me, I've written a lot of songs that are sad, but set to happy melodies and stuff like that. I don't know if that's just a common thing in the type of music we listen to, but Turk, when you're writing a song, do you feel the need to include a sad element because it makes the song more dynamic or interesting?
No, I've never felt the need to add any kind of depressing lyrics or anything like that. If I do, it's just because this is how the song came to be. I get, honestly, it's probably my saddest song I had, and it was just the lyrics, this is how I wrote it. And I wasn't like, oh, this song needs to be sad. It was just, this is just the lyrics I wrote that just happened to not be as happy, even though it comes to really, really happy, catchy melody.
I kind of want to elaborate on that whole sad music lifting people up and happy music kind of bringing people down. Just, there's a musician I really like that said a great quote about this, Steven Wilson from Porcupine Tree. He had said that music that is sad, melancholic, depressing is, in a kind of perverse way, more uplifting. I find happy music extremely depressing, mostly quite depressing. It's particularly this happy music that has no spirituality behind it. If it's just sort of mindless party music, it'd be quite depressing. So, I mean, I think it's kind of just that whole, there's more into a depressing song, whereas the happy stuff, it's kind of soulless. I mean, would you guys kind of agree with that?
I agree with that, yeah, I totally agree with that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with that, definitely.
If you ask me who my favorite artists are and why they're my favorite artists are, it's because I always, I don't know, I always say that they put more into a song. More of themselves. Like, you can tell that it feels more human and not just party, 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 smack that booty, drink some booze.
Well, the thing is about emo stuff, people think it's dark and they're thinking like, oh, I'm going to slit my wrist. No, it's speaking the truth and it's speaking reality. It's the emotional, depressing moment. You understand how they feel and whatnot. It's like reading a book. You're reading how depressing it is, but then it gets happy in the end.
Yeah. I think I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but it's pretty similar to country.
No! So much flack! Sorry, I didn't even know what you were going to say. I just knew that I was going to yell at you.
Wait, modern country or like older country?
I mean, not like Dolly Parton country, because that's just...
Yeah, no.
'Cause I think we had the discussion before that like modern country is all about me and my big ass truck.
And my dog, and my girl, and my beer.
Well, it depends. I feel like there's like two separate... I don't know. There's too many things.
Okay, so it's similar to country in the sense that, yeah, sure, country talks about my dog and my truck, because that's what people in the country have. They have trucks and dogs.
I have trucks and dogs.
And, well, yeah, okay.
You should write a country song.
But
And I guess the majority of the population of Spokane wears camo on a regular basis, so...
I think that they were trying to make fun of the people that live in Nashville, like the expensive parts, and live in a city and write about that stuff.
okay, but like the thing with country though is that it's the exact same thing that you're talking about with popular emo music, in the sense that it's about real emotions and it's about real stories. Probably even more so than any kind of alternative music, it's about real stories. Aside from the underlying themes behind Black Parade, there's not really a lot of bands or songs out there that specifically talk about, you know, cancer or stuff like that, or a love lost because somebody... Well, I'm getting kind of off topic, but that's pretty much what I wanted to say. But anyway, we mentioned a lot about that. Turk, is there any other genres that you listen to aside from the ones that we've obviously touched on as influences for you?
Honestly, no, not really. Like, my whole life is pretty much just like alternative rock, pop punk kind of stuff.
In your remaster for Polychromatic, you started off with this intro video and you were talking about how the fandom has changed your life a lot for the better. That's a theme I hear from a lot of bronies, but for you specifically, in what ways did it make your life better?
Essentially, I got to meet a lot of really, really cool people that I wouldn't be able to meet if it wasn't for the fandom. And I found a new hobby, which is like producing and recording music, which I probably wouldn't have been doing otherwise. And I've met a lot of people through that music too,
So it's really kind of altered the course of where your life was going.
Yeah. Not only that is that I've been trying to get into like change my career choice. I'm trying to do like music majors and stuff like that now. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you applied anywhere, or?
Not yet. I'm still doing schooling for it. So.
What kind of music majors? Were you looking on more of the recording, production side, or composition? Yeah,
I'm doing studio engineer kind of like jobs, record producing and stuff.
Well, hey, you should come on down here to Nashville. We got lots of schools for that.
Yeah, that was one of the questions. Where do you hope to end up, I guess, in your career?
Some kind of recording studio, hopefully.
Like for studio musicians, or do you want to have a band, or?
Yeah, studio stuff. Studio musicians would be great. Any kind of stuff like that would be awesome.
I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before, but my dad worked or as a studio musician for Warner Brothers for a while.
Oh, sweet.
It's pretty cool. He said it was really hard, but he was also doing it in the 60s, so yeah.
And was there any particular experiences that you've had in the fandom that have kind of changed your life for the better, or kind of made you into a different person?
Yeah, performing at Canterlot really like changed my view and how I can live my life and stuff. Because I never think I'd ever be able to like perform in front of people and stuff like this, and actually have the few subscribers that I have. I never thought I would be like enough to be followed by anyone. So.
And what was that experience like?
I don't really know. I always go back and reflect on it, because sometimes I'll just be like. Some cons, like BronyCon last year, the year before that, when I went to Canterlot, I'd just be walking around and they're like, oh my god, you're Turquoise Splash? And I'm like, you know who I am?
You can tell who I am by the toque.
I'm like, what? Yeah, and like I actually got to like sign autographs and stuff, which boggled my mind that people would actually want my crappy scribbled name on a piece of paper.
Have you ever gone up to any bronies while in Canada and asked if they knew who you were?
No. I've been to Canada, so...
No, Turk hasn't had the honor of being an unknown up in Canada. Since we were talking about Polychromatic, Feather did a cover of that I presume you saw. So what was that like to have somebody so notable covering one of your songs?
Well, it's funny because I was already actually really good friends with Feather before that. So I'm just like, you didn't tell me you were going to be covering my song? And so... yeah, it was really nice. A really cool surprise she did.
You're listening to Elements of Harmony on Everfree Network. This is Polychromatic from Turquoise Splash.
Every time I see her start to fly, a rainbow comes and clears my mind of all the doubts and fears I had before. She can clear the sky in 10 seconds flat. You know she'll always have your back. She'll stick with you till the end. Always loyal to her friends. I just can't get her out of my head. When I see her filled with dread. She's in the clouds and I'm stuck on the floor. I can't fight this feeling anymore. I just can't get her off my mind. Every time I see her start to fly, a rainbow comes and clears my mind of all the doubts and fears I had before. She can clear the sky in 10 seconds flat. You know she'll always have your back. She'll stick with you till the end. Always loyal to her friends. Always loyal to her friends. I try to speak but no words come to mind. It's hard to think when she flies by. I wish I could make her see just how much she means to me. She makes me feel alive. Every time I see her start to fly, a rainbow comes and clears my mind of all the doubts and fears I had before. She can clear the sky in 10 seconds flat. You know she'll always have your back. She'll stick with you till the end. Always loyal to her friends. Always loyal to her friends. She'll never let you down. She'll always be around, just in case you ever fall down. Flying oh so high, a rainbow in the sky. Every time I see her start to fly, a rainbow comes and clears my mind of all the doubts and fears I had before. She can clear the sky in 10 seconds flat. You know she'll always have your back. She'll stick with you till the end. Every time I see her start to fly, a rainbow comes and clears my mind of all the doubts and fears I had before. She can clear the sky in 10 seconds flat. You know she'll always have your back. She'll stick with you till the end. Always loyal to her friends. Always loyal to her friends. To her friends.
And that was the remaster of Polychromatic by Turquoise Splash. No, first, no, yes.
Yeah, Pinky. It was totally Turquoise Splash.
It was totally not about you, Rainbow Dash. Get out.
Oh, okay, but there's punch and cookies by the door.
Actually, I forgot the punch and cookies. I'm sorry.
You're useless to us, Flutters. What's your name again?
It's Fluttershy, not Thunder Thighs.
Fluttershy?
No, it's Fluttershy.
That's nice, Flutterthigh.
I feel uncomfortable about this conversation.
I'm sorry you feel uncomfortable.
We're supposed to be talking about technical things now, yes.
Oh, okay. Tonight it's Rainbow Dash presents the Tech Talk. So tonight we're gonna talk with Fluttershy about acoustic guitars and things about music. So, Syx String, you can take it away.
Into the tech talk. We're going to talk about acoustic guitars, and we're going to NPR right now. Turquoise, would you like to give us a little insight on your guitar arsenal, or guitarsenal, if you will?
Guitarsenal.
You're welcome, Guitarsenal.
I'm writing that down somewhere. Guitarsenal. Sure, I'd be glad to share my guitarsenal.
I hate myself.
Okay, my main guitar that I use during the conventions and stuff is my Ovation Celebrity.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, I love Ovations.
I always find them so weird, because they're always like all round and stuff on the back, and I don't like that.
Yeah, the round back people are always complaining about. But I think it sounds pretty, so I get over it. Yeah, and then I have just like a plain old boring Sigma guitar that I always have tuned to something really random, like Open C or something.
Nice.
And then I have an Epiphone black and white Les Paul. Les Pauls are awesome. And that's about it.
Ooh. Epiphone Les Paul. I actually have gotten to the point where I actually like Epiphone better than Gibson. Is that weird?
Kind of.
No, I know, but they're Korean made, and I feel like they have a little bit better product control sometimes, and they're not as unnecessarily expensive.
Yeah, Gibson's pretty damn expensive.
Yeah, I don't really like either one of them, to be honest. Forrest, you can yell at me now.
I always thought Epiphone was supposed to just be cheap.
It is. It's Gibson's entry-level brand, but they outsource to Korea, and guess who else gets their guitars made in Korea? Paul Reed Smith. Well, most of their entry-level stuff, which my favorite guitar is a Paul Reed Smith SE Soap Bar, which was, I don't know, it's like a $500 brand new guitar. They don't even make it anymore, but it's amazing, and I love it, and it stays in tune, and it sounds great. It's perfect. That's my 2 cents.
My Mando is an Epiphone, and the only reason I got it was because it was affordable.
I've got a Mando too.
What kind of Mando do you have?
I don't even remember, because I've only played it like once.
It's like the same problem I have. I got it so I could do tracks that sound similar to Daniel Ingram, because I was working on Journey of the Spark, or still am working on Journey of the Spark. But is it like an F style, or like?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
so you lost me there.
Oh well.
F style meaning, like, does it look classical?
It looks like a mandolin.
Is it named Andy Steen?
It's Andy Stein, not Steen.
I also have a violin, but I'm kind of crappy at it, so I don't really play it.
You kind of have like you said you grew up with instruments. Do you have access to a lot of different instruments that you?
Yeah. My dad has, of course, a crap ton of guitars, so I'll mess around with his classical or his like 12-string. Sometimes I'll just hop on like the electric drum kit and mess around with that for a while.
Okay, I'm officially jealous. Electric drum kits are amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Even though I can't play drums worth crap, they're still really fun.
Oh, they're amazing. My cousins had that thing. They're addicting.
I think the only drums I can actually kind of play is the intro to Run to the Hills.
Really?
Yes.
Isn't that a really hard song?
Not really. No, it's not. It's just really iconic.
Is there any particular instrument that you've tried that you find really fun that you wish you had your own version of?
What do you mean?
Like the 12-string or anything like that?
Having a 12-string would be great. An instrument I would really want would be like a grand piano or something awesome like that. But, I don't have thousands of dollars to spend on that.
Heed my warning. 12 strings are amazing, and I love mine to death, but they will destroy your fingers.
They do sound really pretty.
I know they do, and it's amazing.
But they sound so beautiful.
Yeah, you know what else they're beautiful for? The blood that's on the strings.
Yeah, seriously.
I honestly found a 12-string more comfortable to play than a 6-string.
Well, at first, like steel string acoustics, they can kind of bite into your fingers, but once you get your calluses built up, it doesn't really affect you that much. With a acoustic 12-string, though, they are infamous for being able to tear through your calluses. if you guys ever see my hands, like maybe at Everfree, if I'm able to go, I'll probably bring my 12 string. And if I'm playing for more than like an hour or so, you'll look at my fingers and it looks like I put them in fruit juicer or something.
Blender?
Or blender, that works.
A cheese grater.
Yeah, cheese grater. Cheese grater's more like it.
I only played guitar for about a year, so I guess it didn't really matter for me.
Yeah, I have calluses built up pretty well. I've been playing for like 7 or 8 years or something like that.
Ha, 10 years.
Did you find any differences between playing acoustic versus electric?
Definitely. Well, it depends because my Ovation is the way it's strung is it's built like an electric guitar. So it's like really easy to play.
Yeah, Ovations usually have really thin necks, really low action. They kind of play more like electrics. You can actually bend on them too.
Yeah, which is what I like about him a lot too.
That was one thing I was going to ask actually was how high the action was on it, but low action's nice.
I like them in that sense.
As long as it still sounds decent. Like I know with my electric, if you just listen to it when it's not being recorded, it buzzes like mad. But when it's actually being recorded, it sounds okay.
I want to talk about that too, because you play guitar and sing as well at the same time. Just like walking and chewing gum, except a lot harder. Was that something that you kind of always had been working towards, or is that something that kind of more recently came up? Because I know for me, I mostly was just pretty much mainly electric, and then I got my acoustic, and about 2 or 3 years after I had my acoustic, I finally got to the point where I could sing and play at the same time.
No, that was really the goal at first. I didn't even really start singing until maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. So I've never even really tried until then. It wasn't until about senior year of high school or something like that when I really tried both at the same time.
Oh, wow. So we're like actually in the same boat. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
How easy did it come to you, though?
It took a while. It's just a lot of forcing it and just really learning. Because I think it's because I had a lot of years built on guitar before. So it was just like, oh, I already know this chord progression. I'll just try doing something else on top of it.
That's cool. I like being able to sing and play at the same time because then it's like, who needs a band?
Yeah.
I've got me.
Exactly.
I really dislike guitarists like you guys that also sing because it makes it really hard for singers like me to find a band.
I'm sorry.
Like, I feel like I actually need to learn an instrument now. Thanks.
No, seriously though, I'd rather be able to have a band, but at the same time, it's kind of gotten to the point where it's like, how could you miss that note? Step aside, I'm singing. Or how could you miss that note? Step aside, I'm playing guitar. I don't know. I don't have any like friends who actually play music a whole lot, so
I'll buy you a mini fridge.
It's official.
We're a band. We're a band now.
Yay.
It's called
Guitarsenal.
Starlight Strings.
Okay.
OTP.
That actually sounds pretty good.
It does.
It sounds like a country band. Actually, I was going to ask, Turk, since you have kind of been working on the production side of things for your tracks for the last year and a bit, what's your process like now? What kind of program do you use, and what do you do to create your songs now?
My DAW of choice is Logic 9 because Logic 10 doesn't support 32-bit applications, so I can't use Melodyne.
Oh no!
Oh no! My whole world crumbles down in just one application. But yeah, I use Logic 9. And I use a AKG C1000 S series condenser mic. Yeah, it's hooked up to my Duet 1 interface.
I use a C2000B.
Oh, sweet.
Excuse me? Hold on. Excuse me, what was that interface? I didn't hear Focusrite.
Oh, no, you don't use a Focusrite? Sorry, we can't have you on the show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of a prerequisite for all of our guests.
I'm sorry.
This episode brought to you by Focusrite.
You just killed our sponsorship. It doesn't matter.
Wait, sorry. What was the interface?
Called the Duet.
Oh, the Duet. Okay.
Yeah, but it's Duet 1, so it's kind of ancient.
How many inputs?
Duet 2.
Well, yeah. 2 in, 2 out.
Well, I didn't know that.
This is how inputs are labeled. Okay.
The 2i2 doesn't have like an I in there. It's just 2 inputs.
All right, so everybody who doesn't know anything about interfaces, who's looking to buy an interface, usually when you find an interface that says like a number, that number is usually how many inputs and outputs it has. So the Duet has 2. The 2i2 has 2 in, 2 outputs.
2 inputs, 2 out.
Yeah.
I feel dumb.
The more you know.
Anyway, inputs aren't terribly important unless you're actually like recording a full real drum kit, so don't worry about it too much.
Or if you're recording old school style where you actually have everybody playing live and they're all plugged into one computer recording all their tracks.
That's bold. Nobody does that.
No one does that.
The Beatles did it.
Yeah, that was like a century ago.
The Beatles. Wow, they play good for 100-year-old guys.
Yeah, no, it's like 50 years ago. It was half a century ago.
Turquoise, do you like Beatles?
Honestly, not that much, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love you. You're my best friend.
For any particular reason?
No, I just never really found them that interesting.
All right. Fair enough.
Turquoise, you're my friend now because I seriously thought I was the only person with that opinion.
Turquoise, do you like Dream Theater?
No, but
Yes! Yes!
But-
Doesn't
Perfect
matter.
answer!
You're still my friend.
but ironically, that's my dad's favorite band. So
Oh.
I like your dad.
man.
So we were talking about guitars,
mm-hmm.
and we talked about recording. Do you have any specific plugins, maybe not plugins, like specific things that you actually use for your guitar tone recording?
Not for acoustic. I just use basic EQs and like standard Logic ones. For electric guitar, I use Guitar Rig 5.
Nice. I have Guitar Rig 3. I've got old things. I don't really like it. I like using my foot pedal better.
I don't have any pedals, so this is all I got.
Aw, sadness.
Yeah. I don't play electric, so...
Yeah, I was gonna say you do acoustic a lot, so I'm not sure how much processing you actually do. Do you ever like EQ your guitar, or compress your guitar, or anything like that, or are you just pretty happy with the tone that comes from it?
I usually just do very little amount of compression and slap a limiter on it. EQ is just really just randomly fiddling around until I find like tone that works for individual songs. It depends. If it's like a heavy acoustic song, then I won't do much EQ. Yeah, but if it's like sitting in a mix, I'll have to EQ that accordingly.
Oh, here's a question. Do your acoustics, or I guess it doesn't really matter, but do you record them microphone, or do you record them like input?
Microphone. I've tried input once, and I didn't really like the sound of it.
Interesting facts, actually. I remember for Great to Be Different, I specifically requested both your direct input and your mic.
Which one got used?
Both.
Oh.
They actually both got used, and in different ways. So I think with Great to Be Different, we actually had both the direct input and the mic throughout the entire song. But I think for certain parts, I muted the direct input, like on the bridge, so that it would just be the acoustic playing. But I think what I wound up doing was I actually wound up just kind of slightly panning the direct input to one side and slightly panning the acoustic to the other side. And I think you played both slightly different, if I remember correctly.
I'm glad you remember, because I don't. That was a while ago.
Yeah, it wasn't anything terribly different. You did sort of like this sort of arpeggio thing with the actual acoustic recording. And then with the direct recording, it was sort of...
More like rhythm-based?
Yeah, a little bit. And it was just sort of more straight chords, sort of, just sort of keeping time. And definitely the lower notes came through a lot better on the direct input. But yeah, both got used, and it created an interesting tone.
I've done panning. Usually for electric guitars, you almost always want to double track your electric guitar, because they sound so much fuller and nicer that way. And I'll hard pan those left and right.
Some people don't like to hard pan them completely. Like, I know Cyril hates to hard pan. He usually keeps his guitars at, I think, 70 and 70, and he does
Depends on the song, yeah, definitely.
And then he does another track of, like, layered guitars at 30 and 30 or something like that. But
30-30 is usually what I go with, too.
Yeah? I actually literally hard pan 100-100.
Alright then.
I'm taking notes on all this.
This actually brings up a really interesting question from my aspect. I only know a little bit about recording, but I know when you're recording an electric guitar, you typically record everything to the left channel first, then record everything to the right channel and use both in the mix. Do you do anything like that when you're recording acoustic guitar, or does that play with it weirdly?
Sure. So with panning like that, basically, when you're recording, say, a pop punk track, because you want to have that basically like a wall of guitars, what you do is you record one track all the way through, or, you know, whatever section you're recording for, and then you record another track, but you pan them so that one track is in the left speaker and one track is in the right speaker. And what we're talking about with the numbers is that what I'm saying is with 100-100, I'm panning them 100% left, 100% right for the other track. And that gives a really wide sound on the guitars. With folks like Cyril, 70-70 is basically panning the first track 70% to the left and 70% to the right. But yeah, it's just a way to basically improve the sound of your guitars. And sometimes in Guitar Rig, there's certain ways to kind of emulate that effect with a single track. I know with certain presets in Guitar Rig, it actually will split out two different channels from the one input that you're doing, just playing the guitar. It'll split out a left channel and a right channel, and it'll actually like do a different amp on the left channel and the right channel and like different types of effects and stuff so that it sounds like two different guitars and has that same kind of width.
Actually, though, I think I know a couple other Brony musicians that do the 70-70, 30-30 thing, and I hadn't ever heard of that until this fandom. I just thought that was kind of interesting, too.
Another thing I wanted to ask is when you record acoustic, because I've had experience with this where I've just gotten so frustrated that I just kind of give up, well, at least for the time being. But do you ever have trouble with getting your volumes equaled? So, like, if you're trying to punch in a recording, like, say you screwed up one note, but the rest of the section was really good, like, do you ever try to go in and punch in that recording and it's either way louder or way quieter than what you were playing before?
No, but earlier, like back in days when earlier version of me recording, I did try doing stuff like that, and I was just like, nope. Every time I always have to have the acoustic guitar record it one way all the way through, and that's how I've always done it from now, because it just seems to work the best, yeah.
Wow. That's amazing, actually, that you do that. Do you, like, how many takes does that take?
I usually go like 3 or 4.
That's insanely good.
It's the mark of a good live musician.
Yeah.
Depends on the song, of course, but usually it's like, my songs are usually really simple, so.
That's pretty incredible. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. You get the seal of approval.
This puts me to shame because when I do my tracks, I literally record one section at a time. I'm like, okay, let's record the verse. And then I play it like 20 times. And then I record the chorus and play it 20 times. So my guitar work is literally like a patchwork quilt compared to what you do.
Yeah, I do that, but never for the final. Every time I ever do a final mix of it, it's always one track all the way through. But for stuff like SoundCloud and stuff, I'll just put on one verse or whatever, and if I'm just like building blocks, I'll just just keep recording. I don't have to redo the whole thing until later. But yeah, usually it's always one.
Wow.
Now, what about vocals? Do you do the same thing as well with when you do acoustic?
Vocals take a while, because I'm not the greatest singer. So it take 8 or more tracks, pretty much. And yeah, I'll record in patches. But that's also usually all one take, though, all the way through. I'll go all the way through and just sing the whole song, and then I'll go back. It's only if it's, like, big spaces or whatever, I'll just be, alright, I don't need to wait and just have white noise for the rest of it, and I'll stop it and move it.
And once again, my stuff is like patchwork quilt compared to that, because I will literally do, like, 20 or 30 vocal takes for a single section, and then move on to a different section.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, most people do, is they'll just take the chorus that they have to make it exactly the same and just, copy paste it and post it over, but I usually go all the way through, so.
There's definitely an argument to doing that, because it sounds more organic, I guess. And I mean, there's a lot of people, and I mean, I can definitely understand this, you coming from an acoustic background, that you would want to keep your songs more organic rather than overly produced.
Alright, I think that's enough for our show tonight, but I'd like to thank Turquoise Splash for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for dealing with our shenanigans.
It was our pleasure having you on.
I'm just so glad that Turquoise Splash enjoys Rainbow Dash Presents as much as we do.
Alright, so coming up on the next few days on Everfree, we have on Wednesday the Equestria Inquirer at 8 p.m. and Into the Spotlight at 9 p.m. On Thursday, we have Sketchy Sounds at 3 p.m. All times are in Central. Until next time, this is
Starlight Ironhoof,
Zeta Prime,
Snowblitz,
Syx String,
and Forest Rain. Goodbye for now.
Better off signing a truce that's drawn up in your name. But I hope you go home and admit you were wrong for the stress you put me through. Free me from the ache, cut apart these seas, and let me do what I have to.
led you to wanting to play acoustic guitar? Were you trying to impress a girl or something?
No, I just randomly started playing because back in high school for my dad, he was in like a heavy metal like rock band. And so I grew up and there was always instruments and guitars and drums all around me. And it didn't start until maybe middle school. And I was just like, oh, I'll just pick it up one day, just fiddle around. And I taught myself to play. And that's how it happened.
What was the first song that you learned how to play? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Smoke on the Water.
Ah, very interesting.
Any influence from School of Rock?
No, but I love that movie.
Ah, dang it.
Don't we all?
That's a great movie, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, also, wait, so you said your dad did have electrics. He was obviously in a heavy metal band, and everyone knows that acoustics don't belong in heavy metal. Am I right, Tim?
Acoustics do belong in heavy metal. What the hell are you talking about?
No, they don't.
I know, I'm being
conflict.
I'm being stereotypical and bigoted. But anyway, I'm assuming you have experience with electrics, so where did that preference come from?
I've always just kind of been a fan of acoustic music. Like when I'd be growing up listening to pop punk bands and stuff, whenever they'd make an acoustic version of some song or whatever, I just thought it was a lot more interesting that way. And I just think it's something, it's really nice to hear a stripped down version of a song you recognize.
So pop punk is something that has come up a couple times already tonight.
Oh yeah.
Could you just explain to our audience what exactly defines the pop punk genre?
You want me to define this? Okay.
Yes.
The 4 chords. The 1, 5, 6, 4.
And no more.
The 4 chords.
Key of C or E major is all you need.
1 5 6 4 6 4 1 5. There you go.
And there it is, folks.
That's how you do it.
We're gonna play some examples of that. Yep, we gotta.
I do.
Turk should have a guitar right there. Just play a 6 4 1 5 round for you, considering it's a collaboration. Whereas for me, when I finally get to do something myself, I'm like, I have succeeded now. Like when I wrote Great to Be Different, I was like, I finally wrote a song. Good for me.
Thanks for having me on that, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, and that's the thing too. Like you've done a lot of work, sort of as a studio musician for people too, including Great to Be Different, where you did all the guitar tracks for it. Was there anything else like that where you've just kind of been brought in to do guitar work on stuff?
Yeah, Ponywan Kenobi, I do a lot of acoustic guitar work with him.
And what kind of songs or what kind of stuff have you worked on with?
Mostly Ponywan Kenobi, I've done with a lot of stuff. Mostly acoustic guitar, but I did help write lyrics to some of his songs. Gotta remember all of them. I've done a couple. I did guitar for a song called Weepy Cry of his.
Yes.
Yeah.
Weepy Cry was actually really good.
Yeah, I love that song. It's probably my favorite by him now. Can't think of any of the others. The Love Struck Derpy song, I did guitar and wrote some lyrics for that too. And his Raindrop song, I think I did lyrics for.
Now let me throw out something random. For just non-pony music, what's your favorite band in the non-pony universe?
Yellow Card.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, what song?
My favorite song by them?
Yeah.
Probably Awakening.
Alright, nice.
Yep.
I've got another random question. Minifridge or bassist?
Hey, dang it, you didn't even let me ask it.
It is Syx's question.
We're really going there, aren't we?
Basically, we've been asking people if they would rather have a bassist or a mini fridge.
Minifridgically.
Oh my god.
Electronical.
So Turquoise, would you rather have a bass player or a mini fridge?
Honestly, I'd have to go with bass player.
Whoa.
Because I can't play bass. I don't even own one, so... Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Score 1 for the bassist.
Us.
Out of tune, but yep. You want me to find one that's in tune?
Anybody that you've collabed with previously, have you found anybody that you've just really clicked off and both have been able to write some really good lyrics together?
Lyric-wise, no, but my good friend Pencil Eraser, who non-ironically does pop-punk music, we've hit it off pretty well, and we've been doing music and doing a bunch of ideas together.
One of the things that has come up in a couple interviews are these mysterious Skype chat rooms. So apparently the orchestral people all have their own Skype chat room, and I know for a fact that us alternative people have our own Skype chat room, and I know for a fact that you're in it. How has that impacted your songwriting or collaboration work with people?
The chat rooms? It's helped quite a bit. I have other chats too, and I'll always ask for advice, and because all my friends are nice like that. I'll post up little works in progress, and they'll tell me if it's good or bad, or what melody line could be changed, or what lyrics could work better with what.
So it's kind of helped with your production side of things?
Yeah.
Now, with working on vocals, guitar, production over time, have you felt like you've developed?
Definitely. I wouldn't even dare to listen to some of the old stuff I recorded in the day. I feel like I've improved a lot over the past couple years.
Is there a song that you've had so far that you're just I think I'm doing pretty good now?
Or one that you're most proud of?
Nothing I can think of.
Like a song that you would call a milestone?
Probably Can't Let Nights.
Huh.
Yeah, I still haven't stopped listening to that.
I was really proud writing that one. And I was surprised myself how fast I wrote it too.
Nothing to do with Forrest.
No.
Nope.
No.
Who?
No, nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I would have thought that, I mean, you wrote the entire song, but you didn't produce the entire song, but you did write the entire song.
Yeah.
So it just strikes me as interesting that that's a milestone.
Hey, this is Snowblitz.
Syx String.
Starlight Ironhoof.
Forest Rain.
And Zeta Prime.
And this is Elements of Harmony. Tonight on the show, we talk to Turquoise Splash, a notable acoustic musician within the fandom who has performed both on stage at conventions and spontaneously outside conventions. With a penchant for amazing acoustic guitar work and sweet vocals, Turquoise Splash has done a lot of covers, original works, and collaborations with many notable musicians within the fandom, and he joins us here tonight. Turquoise Splash,
Hi.
how are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Well, you two are familiar.
So, Turquoise is actually a friend of mine, so we're already kind of familiar.
Yeah, the rest of us don't know him.
Yeah.
Hi, strangers.
So wait, quick question then. How did you two meet?
Hey, Miss Derpy, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you want to tell the story since you're a guest?
I made a cover of one of my favorite songs in the fandom by Forrest, with a song called Hey Miss Derpy. And Forrest, I think he just messaged me on YouTube. He's like, yo, this is really cool. You want to make an actual, official acoustic version? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I sent him stems, and we worked on it together, and we released the acoustic version a couple months later.
That's exactly how it was worded, too. Yo, this is really cool. Let's make a real version, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's exactly how it went down, word for word.
Yeah, so basically, Turk did a cover of my song, and it was really good, and it impressed me, and I liked it. And then I decided that we needed to up the production value on it slightly.
Maybe fix the guitar tones?
No. Screw you, Tim.
It was crap. It was bad.
I'm gonna seriously kill Tim someday.
I know.
So we're gonna launch back into the interview. Turquoise, just real quick, tell us the kinds of things you do in the fandom. What kind of music do you make, and what kind of cons have you gone to, that kind of thing?
Well, I mainly just do acoustic stuff. Mostly covers, some ponies, some not. Usually pop punk bands that I really like, and I also make pop punk music. And some of the cons I've gone to, I went to BronyCon last year, which was amazing. And I performed at 21 Kenobi set in Canterlot Gardens the year before that, and that was pretty fun.
And as was noted in the intro, you also performed outside of Canterlot Gardens.
Did I?
Yes. So one of the memories that I had at Canterlot was I walked outside at one point, and you were sitting out there with Blue Nose Reindeer and somebody I don't remember the name of.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I don't know if you remember who it was. It was the guy playing that crazy square drum thing that he sat on.
Oh, yeah, a cajon?
Sure. I have no idea what it's called, but yeah, tell us about that.
We were just bored, and I was hanging with Blue, and we're just like, oh, let's just, play music, because it's kind of half the reason why I'm here anyways. And half the reason we did that was I kind of needed to practice for the set later that night.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we played Hey Mr. Derpy and a bunch of other stuff. But it was mainly just for fun, because playing is fun.
Speaking of playing and fun, what's your favorite song to play live? In terms of fun.
I really liked playing The Party Hasn't Ended by 21 Kenobi.
Well, that's a good one.
Wow. It is a good song,
That's
yeah.
a good one, too.
So what